Okay, so the other day I was just scrolling through Twitter and I managed to stumble across a tweet by Nintendo Everything that had a link to an article. But this wasn't just any old article, this was an article about Kirby, so I clicked on it straight away. Now this article discusses the next stage of Kirby in terms of the Kirby video games. And so in this video I'll be talking about that article and what I think the next stage of Kirby could be. Alright, so the article starts off by saying that it's been 3 years since the release of Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch, but recently a new Kirby Star Allies art book arrived in Japan. And in this art book there is an interview with Shinya Kumazaki, who worked on Kirby Star Allies as the director, but sadly we don't have access to this interview, but Kumazaki also left a message at the end of the book. And in that message he spoke about the struggles how Laboratory went through when making Star Allies. And he also vaguely mentioned the series' future. Now this comment was translated from Japanese to English by someone from Nintendo Everything, so we can actually see this message, and it's pretty long, so strap in. We say this every game, but the team and I overcame many difficulties making Star Allies. Sometimes these projects don't quite come together, but Star Allies overcame the odds and became a game with a lot to offer. Some of the Dream Friends were a challenge to include, to the point where we weren't sure if we could include some of them at all. But we wanted to please the fans who have supported the series, and included all the Dream Friends from across the Kirby franchise. There is always a sense of uncertainty at the beginning of a project, and it's natural we were hesitant about including some of the Dream Friends, but we worked together to make it happen. When working on the free updates for the game, we encouraged all team members, young and old, to give their input on what they thought fans wanted to see. It was very difficult to organize all these suggestions, but I think Star Allies is a compilation of Nintendo and the Kirby team's efforts. Now this is just the first part of the message, and there are two main things that I want to talk about here. The first thing that I want to talk about is that Kumazaki says that he included the Dream Friends in Star Allies to please the fans. This clearly shows that Kumazaki and the people over at HAL Laboratory actually care about what the fans want, and so they probably know that we're all wanting a 3D Kirby game. And if the developers know that we want a 3D game, then I feel like that raises the chances of us actually getting it. The second part of the message that I want to talk about is the fact that Kumazaki says that Star Allies is a compilation of Nintendo and the Kirby team's efforts. Now I always just assumed that HAL Laboratory were making the Kirby games by themselves, but apparently they aren't, and so I just feel like it's worth mentioning, as there might be other people like me that assume HAL Laboratory make the Kirby games by themselves, but apparently Nintendo chip in as well. The second part of the message reads as, with its release, we've finally broken the 11-year drought of side-scrolling titles on consoles. We also added cooperative multiplayer that fans have waited for, another accomplishment that the staff feel great about, and now, finally, we can move on to the next phase. I still try new things at work every day, talking with my colleagues about where to take the series next. Together with them, even if only to please a single fan, we're planning for the next stage of our future. The team is a culmination of the best aspects of the Kirby franchise, and we hope that you'll look forward to what we have coming next. So there's quite a lot to talk about here, so let's get right into it. First off, Kumazaki recognizes that people wanted multiplayer to be in a Kirby game, and they delivered on that, which shows that the Kirby team genuinely know and care about what the fans want, and that they actually deliver on the fans' wants, which is something that we don't see every day. Then after that, Kumazaki said, finally we can move on to the next phase. Now this just has to mean a 3D game, like what else could it fucking mean? Mainline Kirby games have been in 2D forever, so I just feel like the next phase for the Kirby series just has to have something to do with being 3-dimensional. Finally, Kumazaki says that he is trying new things every day, and as you all know, a 3D Kirby game is an entirely new thing, so I think this part of his message is hinting at a 3D Kirby game, or at least something that is entirely new to the Kirby franchise. Like who knows, maybe the next Kirby game will be a horror game, I don't fucking know. So to sum up everything that I just said, I believe everything that Kumazaki said in this message is just pointing at a 3D Kirby game happening. With the leaks of a 3D Kirby game and now this message from Kumazaki, I am 100% sure that we will be getting a 3D Kirby game this year. And with all that said, it's basically the end of the video. Let me know in the comments if you think that we're going to get a 3D Kirby game. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and if you're interested in Nintendo content, then why not subscribe? And yeah, thank you for watching.